Imagine trusting the VA, then losing everything to a voice on the phone. Over $221 million was stolen from 92,000 veterans, and experts warn the real total is even higher. Scammers are now so convincing even the FBI and other law enforcement agencies are on high alert. If you think you would spot the danger, think again. How are thousands missing the warning signs? This is the urgent story they never expected to tell. For many veterans, trust isn't just a value, it's a way of life. Years of following orders, relying on official channels, and navigating endless paperwork have built a habit of compliance. When a voice claims to be from the VA, it carries weight. That's exactly what scammers count on. They mimic the language of authority, use familiar terms, and reference benefits or service records that sound legitimate. The system itself, with its complex forms and shifting policies, can leave anyone overwhelmed. Each letter, email, or phone call about benefits might mean real money or vital support. Missing a deadline, misunderstanding a notice, these can have serious consequences. So when someone says there is a problem with a payment or a new law means action is needed, the instinct is to respond quickly and do whatever it takes to keep things on track. Predictable monthly deposits from pensions or disability checks make veterans easy targets. The steady flow of funds is easy for criminals to spot, and public records often reveal who might be receiving them. Scammers study routines, official-sounding phrases, and the moments when confusion or urgency can tip someone into action. For those who serve, the idea of letting down a team or failing to follow through can be hard to shake. Fraudsters weaponize that sense of duty, turning trust and responsibility into vulnerabilities. In a world where every official message could be real or a trap, simply being a veteran is enough to put a target on your back. 92,000 veterans have reported falling victim to Veterans Affairs-related scams. The financial toll now stands at more than $221 million lost. Money that was meant for retirement, medical care, or family support. Experts estimate that for every scam reported, at least 4 more go unrecorded. That means the true number of victims may be closer to 500,000, with losses possibly topping $1.7 billion. Twice as likely as civilians, veterans are being targeted at an alarming rate, making them one of the most vulnerable groups in the country. Trust in authority and the complexity of Veterans Affairs systems make veterans especially vulnerable. Median loss per veteran is $852, but the average loss is nearly $2,400. Some people lose their entire monthly income in a single call or email. For older veterans, the loss climbs even higher, often above $2,700 per incident. Recovery is rare. Less than 1 in 10 victims ever see a dollar returned. Hard-hit states include Texas, California, Florida, and Georgia, but no region is untouched. 41% of losses are tied to fraudulent changes in direct deposit information. The most common scams redirect benefit payments or steal identities. Coordinated assault is a phrase that fits here. These are not isolated incidents or small-time thefts. They represent a sustained attack on the financial security of those who served. Every number here is a warning. The threat is widespread, the losses are staggering, and the risk is growing by more than a third each year. What is reported is just the surface. The real damage runs much deeper, hidden by shame, fear, and the speed with which these crimes unfold. Scammers do not rely on luck. They follow a playbook, fine-tuned for veterans. It often starts with a phone call that looks official. The number matches the real VA 1-800 line because of caller ID spoofing. On the other end, a voice, sometimes even cloned with AI to sound like a government agent, delivers news of a problem, a benefit error, an overdue payment, or a new law that requires action. The script is precise. loaded with VA jargon and personal details scraped from public records or social media. Pressure builds fast. The caller warns of benefit suspension or lost payments unless the veteran acts immediately. The demand is payment by gift card, wire transfer, or sometimes cryptocurrency, methods designed to vanish without a trace. In seconds, a scammer can harvest serial numbers from gift cards and cash out before the victim hangs up. Email and web tricks follow the same formula. Veterans receive messages with VA seals and urgent subject lines such as PACT Act refund, required, or benefit suspension notice. Links lead to fake portals that mimic va.gov, prompting for logins, social security numbers, or bank details. Even the most careful eyes can miss a single letter in a web address. Once credentials are entered, scammers drain accounts or reroute direct deposits within hours. Some fraudsters advertise expedited PACT Act claims for a fee, preying on confusion about new benefits. They ask for upfront payments or sensitive documents, then disappear. Every tactic is engineered to exploit trust and urgency, using technology and psychology to stay one step ahead. Recognizing these patterns is the first defense, because the next call, email, or text could be a trap. A retired Marine answers a call late one afternoon. The caller knows his rank, his discharge date, even the name of his last commanding officer. The voice on the line sounds official, and the caller ID matches the VA helpline. He is told there has been an overpayment. Thousands of dollars must be returned immediately to avoid suspension of his benefits. The instructions are clear. Wire the money today or risk losing everything. But instead of rushing to comply, he logs into the official VA portal and checks for any notices. There is no record of an overpayment. He hangs up, reports the call, and keeps his savings intact. That simple act of verification stops the scam in its tracks. His story is now used in briefings and support groups, a reminder that vigilance works. Not everyone is so lucky. A Vietnam veteran receives an email promising a PACT Act settlement. The message looks convincing, complete with VA seals and a personalized greeting. He clicks the link, enters his social security number and bank details on a page that mirrors the real VA site. Within days, his checking account is emptied and new credit cards appear in his name. The financial loss is immediate, but the emotional cost lingers. Sleepless nights, embarrassment, and a growing reluctance to trust any official message. Only after connecting with a local veteran group does he learn he is not alone. Others share stories of stolen identities, vanished benefits, and the struggle to rebuild. Each account is different, but the pain is the same. The impact ripples through families and communities, leaving scars that do not show up in any statistic. These are the faces behind the numbers, reminders that every scam, every loss is personal. Federal agents stormed a call center on the outskirts of Delhi, seizing computers packed with stolen data and scripts stamped with forged VA logos. Dozens of operators were arrested, headsets still on, while investigators traced thousands of calls routed through spoofed U.S. numbers. The operation targeted veterans nationwide, using technology to mimic official hotlines and pressure victims into surrendering bank details or sending wire transfers. Indictments followed and arrest warrants crossed borders, but the masterminds behind the scheme remain out of reach, shielded by legal hurdles and distance. In the U.S., lower-level accomplices, money mules, and reshippers have faced trial and sentencing, but the larger network continues to adapt. Telecom loopholes, especially gaps in caller ID authentication, still allow overseas calls to slip past defenses. Veteran service organizations now work alongside law enforcement, launching joint alerts and urging vigilance at every community meeting. The fight is active but far from over. Never send money, gift cards, or wire transfers in response to any call, text, or email claiming to be from the Department of Veterans Affairs. The Department of Veterans Affairs will never request payment or sensitive information by phone, email, or text. Ignore demands for urgent action or threats of benefit suspension. Always check that websites end in .gov before entering personal details. Fake sites often use look-alike addresses to trick you. If you receive a suspicious message, hang up or delete it. Then verify any claims directly through the official Department of Veterans Affairs portal or by calling the number published by the Department of Veterans Affairs from a trusted source. Report all suspicious contacts to the Department of Veterans Affairs Office of Inspector General Hotline. Never share your Social Security number, banking information, or login credentials outside secure, official channels. Only work with accredited Department of Veterans Affairs agents listed on the official registry. Stay alert. Following these steps can stop scammers in their tracks. 92,000 veterans have reported losses totaling more than $221 million to VA-related scams, according to official records. More than that, many cases go unreported. This investigation shows how criminals exploit trust in authority, using technology like caller identification spoofing and scripts that mimic VA communications to make scams sound official. Major FBI and VA operations have seized call center scripts showing authentic VA logos, but enforcement alone cannot keep pace. Veterans remain twice as likely as civilians to be targeted because scammers prey on trust in authority and on the complexity of veterans' benefit systems. Twice as likely is a risk too high to ignore. Official guidance is clear: the VA will never demand payment by phone or by gift card, and all legitimate communication uses .gov channels. Never give personal information or payment to someone who calls or texts claiming to be from the VA. The evidence is clear: scammers adapt fast. Vigilance and information sharing are the strongest defense. The mission continues: protect each other, report every suspicious contact, and leave no one behind. Protect each other.